I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is why women don't apologize. I am 40 years old, and I think I can count on one hand the number of apologies I've received from women in my life. And that does not mean that I've only had relationships with honest, well-behaving, high-integrity women over the past 4 decades. What it does mean is that women seem to find it very hard to apologize for bad behavior. And this is too bad for 2 reasons. In the first place, apologizing for something you did wrong is like an interpersonal slam dunk. Almost everybody will forgive you for being wrong. Not everybody will forgive you for being right, but almost everybody will forgive you for being wrong, especially if it means that it makes the other person right. And in the second place, apologies just seem to matter more to men. And using words to solve a relationship problem is actually a very easy and inexpensive solution, all things being equal.
Hey guys, it's your girl Melanie, and I'm back again with Psych Hacks and Dr. Taraban. I've been just going through all his content, and I just absolutely love it. The original video will be linked below. Make sure you check out his channel. He's a psychologist that is very fair. He is.
This guy is pretty good. I'll give him credit for that, and I'll give her credit too. Okay, he knows how to pick them.
He understands men, and he knows how to talk to women so that they can understand the mind of a man and make changes and learn how to say, I'm sorry. It was my fault. You were right about this. And at the time, I was so invested in my own emotions and what I thought was right. And I got caught up in wanting to prove you wrong. And it's been hard for me almost my entire life to admit to a man that I was wrong and that he was actually right. I don't know why I think in that way, but I know it's something that needs to change and I need to work on. It's an area I want to grow. And I really, I hope you can forgive me and understand that I am going to work as hard as I can not to do that again. Oh my gosh, have you guys ever heard that? Have you ever heard that before? You haven't? Leave a comment below and let me know if you have.
We haven't
also,
heard
make
that
sure you
before.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell, and let's get
Sorry, ma'am.
So ladies, one of the best ways to earn respect and raise your estimation in someone else's mind is to admit wrongdoing when it's appropriate. And of course,
Good luck with that, fellas. Okay? And by the way, while I'm at it, shout out to Melanie Love what you're doing there, sister. Keep up the great work.
to not apologize where there was no wrongdoing and the other person just disagrees or disapproves of your actions. Check out my episode, If You've Done Nothing Wrong, Don't Apologize, for the flip side of this talk. Today I'm going to talk about why it is so hard for women to apologize. But before I do, please remember to like this episode and subscribe to this channel. It takes less than a second, costs you nothing, and it's a great way to help spread this message. So if you like what you're hearing, then please do the thing. And if you're
How about you just subscribe to all 3 of us, okay?
The reason why it is so hard for women to apologize is that there seems to be a difference in what men and women consider to be the problem. From a man's perspective, the problem is some behavior for which he believes the woman to be at fault. And as a consequence of that behavior, he is now angry and upset. The behavior is
As a consequence, he's angry and upset. No, that should not be the case. You maintain masculine frame, okay? And you never let a woman see that you're angry and upset. And when she asks you, honey, are you mad? You say, no, I'm disappointed, okay? Because what I asked to be done did not get done. Okay? Simple as that.
the problem, and the emotional response is the consequence. And in his mind, the solution to this problem is acknowledgement of fault and behavioral change. And I don't think that's how a lot of women see it. From a woman's perspective, the
Acknowledgement of fault. That's really all we want. Okay? Yeah. I messed up and I apologize. So what you want me to get done, I'm going to get that done for you right now.
problem is not the identified behavior. The problem is that the man is angry and upset. And as ridiculous as that might seem to a man,
Yeah, that's a problem.
there's actually some validity to this perspective. Like in a court of law, a breach of contract by itself is generally not actionable. You have to also prove that some harm resulted as a consequence of the breach. No harm, no foul. So it's the harm, the anger and upset, that is the foul from this perspective. And in her mind, the solution to this problem is changing the way he feels. If she can succeed in modifying the man's emotional response, then on some level, that would solve the problem. And that's why you encounter the kind of interpersonal strategies that you do with women in relationships under these circumstances. Rather than apologies and accountability, you typically see a number of emotional coping strategies, like trying to cheer you up, or making your favorite meal, or sending you a funny meme, or simply allowing enough time to pass for everything to blow over. All of these are strategies to reduce the man's felt experience of anger or upset. Do you understand?
I would.
Okay. He's making a good point right there. Okay. And so when you dig down deeper into it, this is how women feel. This is how they react emotionally. As men, that's not how we react. We just adapt to what's going on. Now that we know this is what they're going to do, we adapt to it, okay? Maintain masculine frame. Remain calm, cool, collected. That's the key.
Also say that is absolutely true. And I will also say that it is a dismissal as well of what the man is feeling. It's not as big of a deal when he's upset or something, that if he's been wrong, because a lot of times as women we'll justify, well, he's doing this wrong, that wrong, that wrong, he's done this, so I felt this way, or I've been feeling this way about this, that, and the other, he'll get over it. We don't consider the man's feelings, because for the most part women think men don't have strong feelings. They don't have feelings. Just because men don't express it or ruminate and talk about it the way we do, because men internalize their emotions, they will process it internally, we process externally. When a man finally externalizes emotions in a negative way, then to us that's a reaction, and now that the emotions need soothing. Because for most of us women, it's not about solving the issue. Men are natural problem solvers. It's how their mind is wired. For us, it's soothing the emotions, something that makes us feel better, even if it's not good for us or better for us. This is what we see with a lot of modern feminism that's out there and misandry. It makes them feel good to say and do these things, but it doesn't change anything. It just soothes the emotions. It's not logical. I'm giving a natural reaction as a woman and how I'm hearing what he's saying. So a lot of times my reaction
That you are.
Really, I haven't watched this full video, so it's like me processing. And as a woman, because I want to help the men out there, and also men to understand women and our thought processes, but also so women, so you can kind of relate to what I'm saying and understand it as a woman. And that's, once you have that understanding, that opens you up to want to learn and want to grow, and also understanding men better. So that's why I'm putting that out there. But I will say in general, because men internalize most of their emotions, we don't value their emotions in the same way, or try to, we just like, he'll get over it. Okay. Or sex gets a man over something and all of that. And a lot of times men respond in that way. They don't keep bringing it up. They won't keep vocalizing it, because that's not the nature of most men. They will want to just move on, because men don't like confrontation. Men will only endure confrontation if it.
We don't like confrontation with women. Okay? And we shouldn't have to. We have confrontations with men. That's what we do. And so, not with women.
A necessity. They have to. Women, on the other hand, confrontation actually helps us release negative emotions because it's external and it helps get it out.
You should be having those confrontations with other women, not with your men. That's part of the problem too. Okay? We should be able to call a female in, okay, that can understand what you're going through as a woman, that can help us out as a man. Okay? A sister, an auntie, a mother, somebody like that, a grandmother who can come in and say, okay, I'm going to go in here and talk to her, and we're going to get things straightened out. I'll handle this. It's not always the case, but boy, it sure is good if you can do that.
That's another subject.
And women also notoriously use sex in this manner. Many years ago, I was out for a drink with a woman I was dating, and she decided to take something that I said very much the wrong way. She quickly escalated, and within seconds was crying and critical and withdrawn. It was fairly early in the dating process.
Yeah, I would have been done right then and there. Okay. Proceeded to take something that he said out of context. She threw a temper tantrum, went off and crying and this, that, and the other. He had to basically leave her alone until she calmed down. But wait until you hear what happens when they get back home.
So I was taken aback by how quickly this had escalated. However, as is my way, I didn't argue with her and gave her some time and space to emotionally equilibrate. Later that night, rather than apologizing for imputing to me something that I didn't intend, or owning up to the disproportionate intensity of her emotional reaction, or even acknowledging the episode at all, she just came into the room, took off all her clothes, and kind of laid herself in front of me.
Oh,
The feeling I had was that she was offering sex as a kind of peace offering.
Doc getting some nanny.
She thought she was going to give him some punani.
Not me being messy, wanting some tea.
Offering to assuage my hurt feelings rather than apologizing for her bad behavior. And in that moment, I unfortunately lost a lot of respect for this person. Because
You think?
of what her behavior seemed to imply. That
should have happened at the restaurant.
Distracted with a bit of sex, then we could all just move forward as if what just happened didn't happen. And I got up and slept on the couch in another room.
And I would say a lot of men will just like
That punani didn't work on him.
They get some nanny and they just fold. I won't say anything else or just let it go. They may brood internally.
You
about
guys
it,
are weak.
But they will act externally like everything is okay. And especially if they're getting some of that good. But because he's a therapist, obviously he's going to think deeper about this and think of it on a different level. Like, you got to really be slow if you're trying to run game and manipulate and use these type of tactics on a psychologist. Like,
that's an example
She's a female.
of how women
What do you
apologize
expect?
for sex.
A female's always going to try to use sex to get her way out of something. Always. It's just a natural reaction.
So, men, if you're expecting an apology from your woman, I would advise you not to hold your breath. On the other hand, ladies, I would highly encourage you to consider apologizing when appropriate. Why? Because
When
men
it's
respect
appropriate.
people who take responsibility for themselves. And men
Yes,
very
we do.
rarely receive apologies from women. So this is an easy way that costs you nothing to quickly distinguish yourself
Zero.
from the vast majority of other women in a positive manner in the mind
Listen,
of a particular
we're going to
man.
stop it right here.
I guarantee.
Okay. So what have we learned from this? Guys, we got to be in control of our anger, and we got to adapt to women, okay? I'm disappointed, honey. I'm not upset, and I'm not mad. And mean it when you say that, guys. Don't be beating around the bush, because she's going to be able to tell. So I'm disappointed. Okay. What I asked to be done did not get done. And so I'm disappointed. Okay. How can you fix it? The next time I asked you to do something, you just simply get it done for me. And I won't be disappointed. But on that note, folks, listen, if you like the content, please remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, we'll catch you later. Peace.